Well, good morning, y'all. Welcome to the Hagen Homestead. My name is Brittany, and I'm glad you clicked on the video. I have been making a lot of elderberry syrup for the last few days for orders for people that have wanted it. And it made me think of a topic for a video that I thought you may enjoy. I am going to give a tour of our Home Apothecary and just kind of the resources that I use, what herbs I keep on hand, what I plan to incorporate next year when it's more of the growing season, and just kind of the materials that I use and the products that I use to get this going. So y'all stay tuned, get a cup of tea, and we'll get going. So I have been meddling in herbal medicine for a few years now, and I'm going to first start by showing y'all some of the books that I fall back on for some of these ideas. The first one that I actually got, and it actually went viral, I think, on TikTok and all that, but I've had it for years. It's got dog ears, notes, all kinds of stuff, is The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies. This is my favorite book. I love the way it's laid out. It's super easy to find your stuff. It's got great information. Absolutely love that. I need to get the second edition. But yeah, that is the first book. This is the one that I use the most. The second one that I ended up getting, or maybe this was the first one, I don't know. But this is Rosemary Gladstar's Medicinal Herbs, a Beginner's Guide. She's also got several good recipes in here. It's very much a beginner's guide. Kind of short, sweet, and to the point, but it teaches you how to make infusions, tinctures, all kinds of stuff. So that is a really good resource too. This one's also very budget friendly. Another one that I do have is the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. This one has a lot of good information in it. It's a great resource. I do find that it's a little bit more difficult, and it may just be me, but a little bit more difficult to navigate through. It's not my favorite, but I do resource it a lot. It definitely does not have as many dog ears or tags in it because I kind of go back to The Lost Book of Herbal Remedies the most. So with all that being said, those are the three books that I really kind of go back to, along with, you know, obviously searching online and really researching where I'm getting my information from. There's also a couple of good YouTube channels. One of them is the Homestead. She's great. I really love her apothecary and everything she has to offer. She's very soothing to watch. So that would also be another good resource. So those are the books, and I'm going to get going and open this cabinet up for y'all. So this is where all the magic happens. I kind of have it laid out in organized chaos. These are my tinctures and oils that I am brewing or steeping or whatever you want to call it. So that's the top shelf. I tend to do all of my tinctures with alcohol. If you're not an alcohol fan, you can use apple cider vinegar, but the shelf life is not very long, or not as long. So I'm fine with using alcohol. You can either use Everclear or 90 proof vodka. You can even use 80 proof in some cases. Right here I have a yarrow and comfrey salve or oil going, which I will make a salve out of. This is a lemon balm oil. For the lemon balm oil, I really want to start making some chapsticks. It's also good, like a lemon balm chapstick is also good for cold sores. So that, although I don't get them, I do think it would benefit somebody. And this is a bee balm tincture as well. Down here, this is my stuff that is already completed. Justin is under the weather, so he has been going through the fire cider. I also have, this is something actually new that I'm trying. This is a cayenne pepper oil, and I'm gonna make a salve out of this. This is gonna be good for headaches, joint pain, sore muscles. If you've been following us for a while, you know I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis years ago. Although I don't have any pain, I don't register. You know, we do a lot of work, gardening and all that. It's never a bad idea to have something for achy muscles. I also have like my tinctures that are done. I do a lot of lemon balm tinctures, sage tinctures, bee balm tinctures. So that is basically this side, what is in the works of being done, and then what is done. Over here is where I keep more of my dried herbs and stuff for tea. So we do, this is sweet basil. It is good for, like I said, digestive systems. I mean, if you have gas, it's also good for the nervous system. It helps with menstrual cramps. Trying to think what else. Nausea, vomiting, anything that has to do with like your GI tract. So that's something good to have on hand. The next one is lemon balm. Justin and I use this every night. It does help us have a good restful night's sleep. I'm going to refer back to my book so I don't miss everything that this one is good for. But we do grow this in excess. It has antiviral effects. So like I said, the cold sores. It relieves PMS symptoms, protects the heart, protects the liver, antibacterial, antifungal, anti-inflammatory, has been known to fight cancer, regulates the thyroid, but I've also heard that if you have thyroid issues, you shouldn't do lemon balm, so there may be some controversy on that. It aids in digestion along kind of with the tummy issues. It is in the mint family, so it will take over your garden. So make sure it's in a container. It helps, or it heals the skin and reduces signs of aging. Just an all-around good herb. It has a very calming effect and it tastes great. The next one, this is something that I've added to our arsenal this year. I have been told I have high cholesterol, which we all know cholesterol is not bad, right? So, but I did grow this because it is something to be mindful of. This herb is good for inflammation, skin rashes, and ringworms, so therefore it has antifungal properties. It's good for infections, respiratory disorders like bronchitis and asthma. It helps with stress and heart disease. It also has some anti-cancer properties, type 2 diabetes. It has some dental uses. It says kills bacteria that are responsible for cavities, plaque, tartar, and bad breath. You all know I'm a hygienist. A lot of those things that are listed in this book you can prevent just by brushing and flossing. There's my disclaimer. It's also a detoxifier, diuretic, and reduces risk of kidney stones. So this is something great if you have kidney problems as well. This is one that I did not plant. It actually just pops up everywhere in our yard. I don't know if the previous owner of this house planted it. This is chameleon plant. This plant, if you do your research, it has antiviral properties, and it was really big back in 2020. We all know what happened then, but it was big in fighting all that junk. So since Justin is under the weather, I have been giving him chameleon plant as well. My yarrow didn't do as good this year. This is all I've got. This is also really good to have on hand. I'm also going to incorporate feverfew. Oregano is also great. It is antibacterial, antiviral. It's got so many great properties. If you've got a sore throat, you can just drink some oregano tea. It will help. I make tinctures out of this. So the first sign that we are not feeling so great or somebody in our house is sick, we do an oregano tincture. It's kind of like oregano oil. You can buy like the capsules of it. I think that like the oregano oil, it is going to be stronger, but I find that we do great with oregano tea and oregano tinctures. And if you can grow it in your own backyard, I mean, it's basically free. So why not, right? I also have some stevia that I grew this year. This is really just to kind of sweeten up stuff. I have sage and thyme. Sage is actually good for cognitive issues. So that is one of the reasons why I grew that. I have some cinnamon sticks, cayenne pepper. Oh, another herb, which I do like to grow in excess, is bee balm. This is good for like bronchitis, if you have chest congestion that just won't give up. This has a very mentholy taste, and it kind of acts like an expectorant is what I find. You could probably go online and find some more information on that, but it does help break up chest congestion that I have seen. Now for making natural deodorants, just all kinds of stuff, cocoa butter and shea butter are really good to have on hand. You also make a lot of moisturizers, salves, magnesium oil creams. This Lucidal SF Complete, it is a natural preservative. This is really good. When I do sell salves, I do put some of this in there. Of course, apple cider vinegar. I don't know if I already touched on that. Colloidal silver. This is really good for antibacterial properties. Silver, has been seen everywhere for having antibacterial properties. We actually use silver straws in our water tanks at the dental office to disinfect the water. So that is also really good. I've been giving Justin this as well, just in case whatever he has is bacterial and not viral. Castor oil, you want to make sure you get it in a glass amber bottle. This has got a lot of good properties. You can actually put castor oil on lumps and bumps, and it's been known that it can make those go down, but we always have this on hand as well. It's also good for like poultices. I guess that's how you would say the plural. If you make a poultice, we'll do it singular form. I also have comfrey up here. That is new this year. That is, I think it's also called like bone knit, but I have made some comfrey salves. I was actually doing an experiment on myself. I do have some varicose veins, so if you mix the comfrey and the yarrow, supposedly it's supposed to help with those. I was really diligent putting that on, but I kind of like fell back on it. So I still keep it though. With 3 boys, mama's gonna need help with some bone knit. And then I will kind of touch on what actually made me get started in this herbal medicine journey. There is a brand called Herb Farm. I really like their company. It's family owned and it's here in the United States, so you're supporting US companies. And I started using that, and I was like, man, I wonder if I could start doing that. And that's what really got me into the whole tincture thing. But I use like the ashwagandha, the propolis right now is good for immune support, mullein leaf. I have their plantain, their echinacea, because my echinacea didn't do so good this year, or it didn't do good at all. I didn't cold stratify it. But every year is a learning thing. This is where I keep all of my homemade tinctures just for our use. I do reuse my bottles, so but this is where I keep that. I do use hawthorn berry. This is, again, good for cholesterol, good for the heart. Now, if you are getting into like loose leaf teas, these little containers are great. I got these on Amazon. I can leave a little link for those. You just fill this little canister with whatever herbs that you would like, and it acts as a tea bag. I've changed this into our supplement cabinet. So this is, you know, some of our supplements, our zinc, magnesium, CoQ10, red yeast rice. I also make, and I'm going to do a video on this my next batch, apple scrap vinegar. This is what I make my fire cider out of. And then this is fire cider going. This will probably actually be ready here pretty soon. And then along with the apple scrap vinegar. So I kind of always keep those in rotation, or at least try to. I say always loosely. But you want a pretty good quality organic oil if you're going to start making salves or anything topical. That is what I use for that. Strainers and funnels for herbal medicine is super important. Beeswax or soy wax. I use that for my salves. I also make my own magnesium oil, and I also make it into salves. I kind of like the salves better, but I'm going to try doing some sprays for people, see if they like that more. But I just get the Ancient Minerals magnesium, and it's super easy to make your own magnesium oil. This way it's a little bit cheaper, and I have control over how strong it is. I also keep bentonite clay on hand. This is great for detoxifying and rejuvenating skin and hair. It's also, you can also do an armpit detox with this. You just mix the bentonite clay and apple cider vinegar, and you put it on your armpits. Because if you use natural deodorant, you know, you still need a little help in some areas. So I do that. You can also put this in your natural deodorant. You can put this on, you know, bee stings, ant bites, mosquito bites, and it draws out that venom. I keep kind of my excess herbs down here. I'm trying to think what else may be beneficial. Scales are also really good if you're doing like concoctions, I guess. When I bag up my teas for sale, I do weigh them because, you know, it goes by weight. And then as far as like drying herbs, I do not use a dehydrator for my herbs. I will use it for like orange peels, ginger, stuff like that. But like my leafy herbs, I just hang dry them. I don't want the medicinal properties getting taken out by the heat. I know there is a low setting on the Excalibur dehydrator that we have, but I want our medicinal properties in our plants to be the highest they can be, and I just feel like drying them doesn't deteriorate that. So along with everything that's in here, I'll also show you what I keep in the fridge. Now, like I said, I've been making a lot of elderberry syrup, but this is the elderberry syrup for a friend that's coming to pick it up today. This is great to have on hand. You know, I always say if someone is sick in your house, you yourself are not sick, take 1 tablespoon a day just to boost your immune system. If you yourself are sick, you can take a tablespoon every 2 to 3 hours, you know, until you get better. Now, another great thing to have is fermented garlic honey. You can also do this with onion. You want to put all your cloves in a jar, and it has to be red onion, but you put raw red onion in it and your garlic cloves, and you want to fill it to the top. You want to cover all of your plant matter or organic matter with local honey, and it will ferment. I call it burping. A lot of people do. But I mean, I guess you could put a pickle pipe on the top or a fermenting lid. I normally just do it with, you know, a ball lid. And every day you're gonna, you know, shake it up and down, and then you're gonna open it just like that, and it's gonna fizz, almost like a Coke would. You can start tasting it, you know, I guess on day 5. I normally let ours ferment for probably at least 10 days, probably 2 weeks, and it's gonna become, the honey is gonna become runny. But that is a great immune boost and cough suppressant, and it coats the throat. It's a really good alternative. So I think that's kind of it. Oh, as far as what I want to do better at growing this year, I'm gonna grow mullein because we buy a lot of mullein and I just want to cut down on that. I am going, hopefully our elderberries produce better next year. They did end up coming back after the goats a little bit, so that's, thank the Lord. So I'm gonna do ginger. I'm gonna do, hopefully the elderberries get better. The mullein, I'm gonna do echinacea more. I didn't have good luck with chamomile this year, but I'm gonna try again this next year. And I'm just gonna slowly try and do some more herbs. Rosemary is super, I have found that rosemary and thyme we use a lot of, even in cooking. So I'm gonna really try, I may just buy plant starts. Rosemary has a very finicky germination rate, and I successfully kind of grew it once and it kind of fizzled out. So I may buy starts. Lavender, I actually had lavender this year and then it died. So it may come back next year, but just by the looks of it, I doubt it. So I may buy starts for that next year too. So that's a little tour of our home apothecary, but I hope that helped. That's kind of what we keep on hand and what we use it for. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. We'll see y'all later. Bye.